everyone, welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka. It is a Thursday.
Yes.
Bright and early.
Bright and early. Well, didn't get to hear the theme, but welcome folks to the program. We got a very interesting show, and just to give you an idea, just in case you're free this evening and you want to check out some events, we got some list of things that you might want to consider.
Yes, of course, it is the weekend, and that is the time where everybody wants to get out a little bit and take a look at what's happening out there. And there are a few events in arts and culture. An exhibition taking place at the National Art Gallery. It's all wildlife art by the Young Zoologists Association. Starting from today, it's called Kin Wild. And there's another one happening at 5:30 this evening. It's not an art exhibition, it's actually a discussion by movie buff and film critic Sanjeev Hevavitharna. It's called An Evening of Brazilian Cinema, and he'll be conducting an open forum on some award-winning Brazilian filmmakers such as Bebenco, Salles, Merlius and Barreto.
And it's happening at the International Center.
International Center for Ethnic Studies.
And if you'd like to check out some non-mainstream type of music at 6 p.m. It's Music Matters Colombo Festival 2012 with musical performances by local and international artists in the field of jazz, ritual, folk, experimental, electronica, and progressive rock, alternative, and unconventional music. Tickets are $500. It's happening at Park Street Muse. And finally, an hour after that, you can hop and skip over to the Jeremiah's Hall of Visaka to check out a celebration of music that stars the Revelation and the Senior Choir. That's all happening this evening, Thursday. Packed day, if you're packed evening, actually.
Yeah, it is a very packed evening, and definitely a lot of things to do this weekend if you want to make yourself a little bit broader in the arts and cultural version of it. Now, on Good Morning Sri Lanka, we do have a couple of very special guests who will be joining us in a very short time to talk to us about public speaking.
Yes, and I remember every time there's a little note that comes to Yes FM from their very distinguished group, I always tell the boys, remember when you voice the script, don't forget to open your mouth, clench your jaw, and enunciate very well. And this reminds me of my favorite my favorite little survey that says when it comes to public speaking, people were asked the biggest fear. Public speaking is most people's biggest fear. It actually is the #1 fear of people. Number 2 is dying. Yes, number 2 is dying. So if you would put that in practical perspective, we would rather be the dead person than the one saying good things for the dead person.
And then there are very brave people who are willing to, brave the storm and actually stand in front of people and talk. And some of them are going to be joining us in studio and telling us how do they do it, what is the secret behind it, and talking to us a little bit about a competitive event, which is all coming up right on the other side of this short commercial break. Hi everyone, welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. Now, for those of y'all who are just joining me, I'm Prami, and I have in studio with me a few very special guests from the Toastmasters of Colombo, come to tell us about an event which is taking place very soon, as well as share some very important things with us, tips on how to speak in public. Welcome on the show. In studio, to the left of me, I have Mr. Hussein Muzaji, who is the president of Colombo Toastmasters Club, as well as Mr. Mohan Moraes, who is the project chairman for the All Island Best Speaker Contest 2012. And next to him is, of course, Sabira Hamad, who is last year's winner of the competition. Welcome. Now, talking about Toastmasters, now this is not a new name, it's definitely something that we've all heard before, but could you tell us a little bit about Toastmasters and what they do?
Basically, Toastmasters itself is an international movement promoting the development of public speaking and leadership skills. In fact, today it has gone a step forward. It is more a life skill which is inbuilt into the development of a personality. And as a person brings in the experience of Toastmasters, it is a transformation of himself which one is able to see. That's basically what Toastmasters does.
It is not just any other club. You can join in, but it will help you develop yourself as well. teach you leadership skills as well as how to master the skill and slay the dragon of public speaking. Now, could you tell us a little bit about the tips? A couple of tips for our viewers. Just how can you slay the dragon of public speaking?
I believe it's all down to preparation. When it comes to public speaking, it's all about preparation and knowing your audience. Once you've done that, I think half the battle is won. And when you speak of preparation and delivery, we say that, I mean, in any effort there should be a very good opening, which will be an attention-grabbing opening, a well-structured body, which will keep the audience with you, and a closing, which we always say should have a take-home message of value for the person to ponder on and take back. So those are the three key ingredients: a very good opener, a well-structured body, and a close. With lot of preparation, I'm sure that will take you through.
What about you, Sabira? Any hints?
See, the thing is, you can't really slay the dragon. Public speaking doesn't really erase your fear of public speaking. I'm a living example. But what it teaches you in Toastmasters is how to hide that fear, how to sort of present yourself in a confident way, how to start with a bang even though you're feeling jittery and your hands and fingers are shivering.
Help you start the bang as well.
Yes, it does. Having jitters is actually good because it says that you're very passionate about what you're speaking. So having jitters is good as long as you don't drop on the floor with a faint. But I think the biggest tip for me in public speaking is learning how to control the R's and the R's. As a public speaker, we need to have a smooth flow. So when you come to the point where you are thinking and your mind goes blank and you say, Toastmasters teaches you how to pull back. So you take a pause and you think and you avoid.
Yeah, that's when it gets caught, actually, that you're thinking. So, talking further now, Toastmasters helps their members talk about, like learn to speak in front of crowds as well. And there are certain different ways to test them as well. Mohan, could you tell us a little bit about the competitions that you organize for your members?
So basically what we are running this time is AIBS 2012 or the All Island Best Speaker Contest. It's the 23rd in the series. It has always been traditionally kept for the Toastmasters themselves, but this time we have broken the rules, gone out, and we found non-Toastmasters. So we just tried out a whole new type of clientele, and we have been absolutely successful. We ran the semis last Sunday. We had 12 semi-finalists, and we have picked out 5 who will be with us at the Galadari on the 10th of June at 5 o'clock. That's going to be the finals of the AIBS 2012 this Sunday, the 10th of June at the Galadari.
Just to be clear, you mentioned that you opened it up to other than Toastmasters. This means that people who are not part of the club is also taking part?
It was always opened only to the Toastmasters, but within the Toastmasters movement, there's so much of opportunity for Toastmasters to showcase their talents. So we just went into the outside. We wanted to find talent from the outside, and we have been absolutely successful. It has paid rich dividends.
I can imagine. That must be an incredible, it's an incredible feeling actually, I guess. Everybody has been working so hard, and then to showcase yourself, it's pretty good. And this is an international event. I mean, like, here it's national, but it can go into an international event as well, because I had a few guests a few weeks ago from the international body speaking to us about the events that they are having as well.
Correct. If I might take that question, basically internationally we do have similar events, but that is restricted mainly for Toastmasters. It is called a World Championship in Public Speaking, and the next championship will come up in August 2011 in the United States. So that is an annual event which is held once a year for Toastmasters from all over the world who compete in a World Championship. Here in Sri Lanka we have the All Island Best Speaker Contest, which is a national event and open to all Sri Lankan citizens of this country to showcase their talent in public speaking itself.
Yes. Now this is the one that will be taking place very soon. So could you tell me a little bit about the progression so far? How has it been going, and who? Well, maybe you can't talk about the finalists, but could you talk to us a little bit about what type of things they've been doing?
we did have a selection process where we had a whole stream of party. Yeah, so we had a whole heap of contestants coming in across the board, from HR personnel, bankers, lawyers, students, and we had a very successful orientation program where we briefed them on the do's and the don'ts and what is the expectation, and from that point we went into the preliminaries, which was also held at the Galadhari, and from that we picked out 12 semi-finalists, and again mentored them, coached them, and now we have ended up with 5 finalists, like I told you earlier. And we are very, very satisfied with what we have ended up with. The gamble to go outside the Toastmasters, as I said earlier, has really paid off.
Yeah, it's good to take risks once in a while. And what type of public speaking is it? Do they come with prepared speeches, or do you kind of give them something and say, okay, fine, wing it, see how
they have a prepared speech as well as an impromptu of 2 minutes. The prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes duration, a topic of their choice. The impromptu is a 2-minute speech, which is a common topic that's given to everyone. So that's how the competition will move on the 10th.
I see. Now, Sabira, you are a past competitor and winner. So what did that feel like actually last year?
It felt unbelievable actually, because for me especially, because I joined the contest itself because I have an absolute fear of public speaking, and I still do. I haven't really slayed the dragon. So I think it sort of helped me realize that I have potential, and to see and to hear my name actually being announced was fabulous, because after all, who doesn't want to be a winner?
Yes, of course. Now, how was the experience? I mean, like you were saying that you had to do all these, you had to talk about this the speech that you had to do, as well as talk about an impromptu subject. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
The most challenging part of it is handling the impromptu speaking, because even though it's 2 minutes, 2 minutes seems like a lifetime. And when you are given a topic that you probably have never even thought about before, how do you string a couple of words and start off in a matter of 30 seconds? Because that's all you have to walk from backstage on stage. So you have 30 seconds to pick out everything and put it into a 2-minute winning speech. So that is the most challenging part. But I think the prepared speech also, what the judges generally look for is how much of a personal story are you trying to say that is relevant to the audience, and of course your delivery, how smooth of a flow you have, how confident you are of a speaker, how much you can forget about what is happening around you, because I remember when I was speaking there was a thunderous downpour of rain. And as a speaker, you need to have control about what you say. So if you can take command of everything and enunciate, as someone said previously, and deliver, everything should work like clockwork.
Yeah. So what would you say as tips for the finalists that are taking part this time? Would you have any tips?
Yes, I would have one tip, and that tip is basically not to overthink your speech. You need to love your speech. For my final speech, I actually changed it completely. For the semi-finals and before the semi-finals, I had a very different speech, and I was happy with it. But when it came to the finals, 3 days before, I met up with a friend and I said, you know, it just doesn't make me excited. It doesn't make me want to speak up, and it doesn't make me smile. So then he said, change your speech. And that's when I did a completely different content, and I revamped everything. And that day I was really eager to rush on stage. So if you are a finalist, do a speech that excites you, and don't over practice, because sometimes over practicing may make it sound like a rehearsed speech. Just give it a go.
Yes, and when it just comes off the cuff, sometimes it's a little bit more.
Exactly.
There's more energy in it as well. Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It was definitely a very, it's really good to hear other people's perspectives on public speaking as well. And no matter how much you do it, there's always goof-ups, and somehow those are the fun parts of it as well, isn't it? Anyways, thank you for joining me on Good Morning Sri Lanka. I hope the event goes well. I have a feeling it's going to be very, very exciting. Right now, we're going to take a very short commercial break. I'll see you guys on the other side.